What is up, guys? I'm Diablin D'Souza, and today we have a real interesting thing to talk about. But first, let me tell you how we reached this point. So a couple of weeks back, I was shooting the Canon EOS R video, and I was at Photo Circle shooting the video. So if you have not seen the Canon EOS R video, I'll put the link up over there. You can have a look at it. So I was doing some B-roll shots and I needed a macro lens. So I asked Photo Circle if they had any macro lens, and they said yes, and they gave me one. After taking some pictures and taking quite a few videos with the lens, I really lost my mind about it. So this video is about that lens. So let's get to it. This is the world's widest 1:1 macro lens. It has a 110-degree wide angle of view, which allows users to focus very close to the subject, but at the same time get the where, when and how of the picture. This lens comes in with a plus and a minus 4mm feature, which allows users the lens to be used for architecture, landscape, macro photography. Isn't this mind-boggling? Well, it is if you look at this lens. So this is a Loawa 15mm f4 wide-angle macro lens. This lens is a beast. The first time I held it in my hand at Photo Circle, I took a couple of pictures and I fell in love with this lens. So this lens can be used on Canon, Nikon and Sony E-mount cameras. It has an adapter which supports E-mount, so it's written E-mount over here. Let me tell you more about this lens. So starting from the top, this lens has a diameter of 77mm. So any filter that's going to be needed on this lens is going to be a 77mm filter. It has a floral lens hood. Yeah, so this is a lens hood. It's a floral lens hood. If you can see it, it's a floral lens hood. And this is a lens. Check out this bad boy. Isn't this a beast? Well, it is a beast. Let me talk about the build quality of this lens. So the build quality of the lens is pretty nice. It feels pretty solid in your hand. It's really solid and it's quite heavy. It comes with a full black, and you have an extension tube here, which is actually the mount for the Sony E-mount system. And this lens can go really close. How close this lens can go, I'll drop in some footage to show you how close you can get to the subject with the lens. So basically, I'll tell you. So basically, the subject can just touch the lens. So yeah, if you can go here, you can see the subject can just touch the border of the lens. That's how close you can get to this lens. So coming to the advantages, what I like about this lens. So since it's a macro lens, you have to get really close to your subject, and this lens has a shift adapter. So if I just hold it here and I can slide it up, hold it here and I can slide it down. So if you're doing any landscape photographs or something, this is going to be really useful. Adjust it so it avoids distortion. So if you're standing underneath a building and you're taking a picture shooting up like this way, you will find that the building is either leaning forward or leaning backwards. But with this, if it's leaning backwards, you can just tilt it and push it down. The building will automatically tend to lean forward again. So you have the distortion correction feature on this lens, and if you push it all the way up, if the building is leaning forward, it'll just like tilt back. So it has a plus and minus 4mm distortion correction. So coming to the downsides of this lens, well, this lens is a manual focus lens, so you have to know how to use manual focus to use this lens. If you don't know how to use manual focus, it's going to be a little difficult for you guys to use it. And being in photography and videography, you should be able to use manual focus. But I've struggled taking videos with this because of this extension tube here. So getting the hand to the focus ring was a little uncomfortable. I had to use some like funny hand grips to actually get the hand on to the focus ring. I really never felt comfortable using this lens for videos because I was not able to hold it properly. So basically I had to do something like this way. I had to do something like this way to get the focus adjusted. Whereas in photographs, it was really useful because you had to go to the subject, adjust it, and then take the photograph. So overall, this lens for macro is really nice, but since I do a lot of landscape photographs, I really love this lens because it can help me do a lot of landscape photographs as well as macro photographs with one lens. So instead of using a 15mm prime for landscape, I might as well just use a 15mm wide angle macro, and I'm able to do both landscape as well as macro photography. So I would personally recommend this lens for people who want to get into macro photography or into landscape photography if they were in either doing landscape before or were doing macro before, because this lens is basically two lenses combined into one. You can do landscape and architecture photography as well as you can do macro photography. So instead of having two lenses, this one lens is going to do the job for you. So imagine getting a shot of an eye as well as getting a shot of a landscape far away. So that's how powerful this lens is. So I would definitely plan to have one of these lenses in my kit because it's really useful for me. So I hope you guys like this video. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. I'll see you again in the next video. Bye.
Let's go outside, the snow is falling down.